people's words are worthless or not. There's no effect on you whatsoever. The only effect that happens from words, the most powerful words, are the ones you tell yourself, not the ones people tell you.
Hey, I'm Zainab.
And I'm Mia.
And welcome to another episode of Sprinkles and Spice.
And everything about getting hotter, better, faster, and stronger.
Can only make me stronger. Before we start, we would like to wish everyone Ramadan Kareem. During this blessed month, we would like to extend our heartfelt wishes to all the Muslims watching Ramadan all around the world. And we wish you a month filled with peace, blessings, and spiritual enlightenment for you and your family.
We're hungry with you.
We're all hungry together.
For those of you watching the episode, I know what you're thinking. We look fabulous. We're wearing Munira Al-Omar. Her designs are fantastic, fabulous, flourishing, flushing.
Phenomenal.
Every effort but the bad one because it's Ramadan. So she's a Kuwaiti local designer and she is our go-to for any event, whether it's a wedding, a birthday party, dara'at, and Eid. We always love going to Munira Al-Omar. And obviously we have a discount code for you guys. So for 10% off any order until Eid, put SNS and you'll get 10% off everything and anything. So Zainab, what are you wearing today?
I'm wearing the Luxe in Peach, and it's a Ramadan and Eid special edition. What about you?
I'm wearing the Luxe in Fuchsia.
So yeah, if you love what we're wearing, you can go ahead and shop these looks and stay tuned for our other Ramadan looks. You guys are going to enjoy them.
Yeah.
So today we have a very special guest with us in the studio. She's a master life coach. She's a TV host and the voice of Entertainment Tonight Bil Arabi. She is also a wellness expert and owner of Disconnect Dubai. And she's a fellow podcast host. And she's a breast cancer survivor. Mais Mohammed. Woo!
I like that.
AKA Superwoman.
Thank you. And your second cousin.
Yes, and my second cousin.
That should have been the first
That should have
thing.
been the first one, but I was trying to, just kind of like be humble.
Zainab, you're literally a Nepo baby.
Am I? Oh my God, I need to get a shirt that says Nepo Baby.
Yeah. I'll get you that for Eid.
How are you, Mace?
I'm good. It's
Ramadan
good to be
Kareem.
here. Ramadan Kareem to you too. You girls look fabulous.
Thank you. We're all like in the same family of colors, the same
Yeah,
color
like
palette.
all shades of pink.
All literally.
Jinx.
Now I can't talk.
Podcast over. That was fun.
Today we're going to be talking about a very special topic. We're going to be talking about mindset, especially in the face of adversity and resilience. And who better to talk about this than you, Maze?
Thank you. I feel overwhelmed.
No, it's fine. It's just us. It's literally just us. Before we start, though, tell us a little bit about Disconnect.
Oh, Disconnect is the new baby that's in town. So it's basically all my ideas put under one umbrella, and I've partnered with it with a great friend of mine. Her name is Mahabba, which also designed the Be Amazing boards, the paddle boards that we have that's under Disconnect. So Disconnect is a place where people come and really disconnect.
Yeah.
And there's ice baths, yoga, meditations, and all the meditations that I do are worked very I've worked hours on it in terms of binary waves and binary frequency waves for the brain to go into theta frequency or theta state and to put you in that state of mind where you're really letting go, healing, and also opening up for creativity. So the way that it's designed, which is very unique, it's not the usual that you see, is with headphones. So whether you're at the beach, and most of the activities are done outdoors, or on a boat, completely isolates, disconnects you from everything around you. And this is why we called it Disconnect. And we also have an e-store on it that sells wellness products such as meditations, Nefas, the breathing necklace that I'm wearing so that you can constantly breathe. And that's in a nutshell, that's what disconnect is.
So wait, you do yoga and all of these practices with like headphones on, or how does
Well,
it?
there's several types of yoga. So
Okay.
vinyasa yoga, no, obviously, because there's a lot of movement. So
Yeah.
it doesn't require headphones.
And then you're
but,
just like fumbling with the headphones in their phone.
yeah, exactly. But yoga nidra, on the other hand, nidra in India means sleep. And it stays in shavasana position, which is the last position of yoga where you just lay down and there's no movement.
That
So
is
you
my
have
favorite
AirPod
movement.
Max, AirPod Pro, like you have every type of AirPod possible for us to do yoga.
Pretty much, but that's with a special headphone, not an AirPod.
We have a running joke on the podcast of like AirPod Max, so I love to just bring them up randomly.
Yeah. And then she got her AirPod Maxes, and now she does it because she used to be like rich people who have AirPod Max,
Yeah,
and
I
then
used
she
to
got
roast the rich,
Yeah.
and then my friends bought them for me, so I can no longer roast them.
So now you have to wear them.
So now I am the rich.
She's like, can I actually do shavasana in my AirPod Max?
But you can. You can.
Okay,
Definitely,
okay.
they are good quality. They do isolate sound, so you can.
Okay, so they have to isolate sound,
Well, it's preferable if you're
Okay.
sitting by the beach.
and you hear a horn, like a ham horn.
Yeah, it will interrupt you. I mean, generally speaking, when people try to meditate, they're distracted by the tiniest thing, whether it's the click of the AC inside a quiet room,
The smell of
or
food.
smell of food. You know, your senses kick in, and then all of a sudden, your monkey brain decides to wander off when you're supposed to be focusing into your meditation, which is why any kind of distraction usually interferes with your meditations.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why we've created the meditations to be done through these headphones, so that my voice will be inside your brain cells.
Oh, so you're speaking.
Yes.
It's
It's done. It's written and guided and actually even produced by me. Even the music and everything is done by
When
me.
you
She
do
really
them,
is Superwoman.
is listening to yourself kind of freaky?
So I know it works when I meditate to my own voice. That's how I know I've reached to the correct track. And especially with the sleep hypnosis, until I managed to fall asleep to my own voice, that's when I knew that was a good product.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it kind of like binaural frequencies? Is it like the
Yeah,
same? Oh,
binary
okay.
beats. Yeah.
Oh.
Remember when we were doing binaural beats in your room to manifest stuff?
They're great. They're fantastic.
They
I
are.
tell her all the time.
I did them way before I even met you. She's like, I tell her. I used to listen to them a lot, like for my like meditate. I'm not, obviously I don't do like guided or anything. I just kind of make it up in my head. But there is a certain calm that you get from them, and obviously like on YouTube you find like all kinds of ones,
Of
like
course.
binaural frequency for falling asleep, for attracting love, for attracting money, whatever.
I mean, I'm not so sure. The titles are all there. They're not incorrect,
Yeah.
but they're let's put it in a sense that it's more of marketing for you to click to watch
Yeah.
views.
Clickbait.
Exactly.
What? You mean
So-
we're not going to get the $50 million mansion we're trying to manifest when we're doing
I'll
binaural
tell
beats in
you.
our room?
I'll tell you something. The beats or the frequency that you're hearing. I don't call it beat. It's a frequency. That frequency enhances or allows your brain to go in what they call a theta state.
Oh.
So you have different types of brain waves. When you're alert and you're awake, that's called the beta waves. Then you're going into alpha state. And then you're going into theta. Theta is when you're daydreaming. Theta is when you're most creative. Theta is when you manifest. Theta is when you're sleeping in and out of sleep, or you're sleeping but you can still hear someone. You wake up from your alarm. You're still kind of in and out. When you listen to these frequencies on YouTube, so whether it's manifest 50 million, if you or fall in love or find your partner, when you get to that state of mind, which is a theta state, through these waves or frequencies, and if you're really concentrating, you're opening your mind to receiving anything that you're focusing on at that point.
The penthouse.
Exactly, the penthouse. And then that's one layer from the many layers of how to manifest. If you're talking
Yeah.
about manifestation, manifestation has a few layers, not just stay in theta state and think about the penthouse and whoop, you got it, you know?
That's not how manifestation works?
No.
I'm being lied to.
The key-
These YouTube videos, they're lying.
The key to manifestation or the secret, the law of attraction, the key is letting go of the attachment.
Yeah.
So the minute you're attached to that penthouse and you really want it, it won't come to you.
And you think about it every time, it won't. Yeah,
it won't come
I've
to
heard
you.
that a lot, where it's like you have to let go of that desperation, because a lot of people, I think, they manifest and they're desperate, so
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
so attached to what it is that they want.
It's like toxic attachment. Even though it's
Yeah.
positive, it's still toxic. So if you're attached to something so badly, it's kind of like you're telling yourself, I'm not happy without it,
Yeah,
and I need it to fulfill my happiness. That frequency does not match the frequency that you're in. So let's say that the frequency of you living in that penthouse would be joy, would be love, would be butterflies. So that has a certain frequency. And when you want something so badly, it's like, I want it, like a child. That has a very different kind of frequency. So these two don't align. They're like a magnets that repel. So it's like you're saying, I want it, and it doesn't match the frequency, so it kind of repels against it.
yeah,
But if you kind of visualize yourself inside that penthouse and match the frequency to the image of the penthouse and let it go, let the idea float, it will come to you like a magnet.
yeah,
So one of the great famous coaches or neuroscientists that teach this is Dr. Joe Dispenza. He has a phenomenal method about talking about the quantum field, how to manifest, is pretty much kind of becoming the penthouse, I'm just giving you the example of penthouse because you mentioned it, becoming the object you want to achieve and allowing it to be in that quantum field so that it can come to you.
yeah,
So it's kind of like matching frequencies.
That kind of reminds me of like abundance and scarcity mindset. You know, like
Yeah.
if you come from a mindset of abundance, like you're not stressing about every single thing. Like things always come like tenfold. Like they come back to you tenfold.
Yes.
It reminds me of that a little bit. Like just the like not caring. Like okay, just khalas, just do it.
yeah. Or I've heard a lot of people be like, you have to be in that mindset, like you have it, like khas, because obviously when you have something, you're not stressing about getting it. It's like khas, you have it, you're relaxed. So you have to get into that kind of
100%. 100%. People need to understand that your brain, there's no such thing as tomorrow. Tomorrow's today. We only live in the present moment. Your brain does not function. It doesn't understand that there is a past, that there's a future.
Yeah.
It only functions in the present moment, meaning that if you think about the past, it produces the emotion now. If you think about the anxiety of the future, it produces the emotion now.
Yeah.
So when you're visualizing that you're in a certain area or a certain goal, as if you are living it in this present moment, your brain will think that you've actually achieved it.
Yeah.
So by feeling these feelings and by wiring and rewiring, your mind into thinking that, whether you want to call it a trick or not, but that you've achieved it. Here's the interesting part. When we say it rewires your brain, that you actually have achieved it and you live that moment, when they go like, I don't understand, but how can I manifest it? Your brain will start, let's say, expanding your peripheral vision and expanding your pupils, if you want to put it that way, and making you see things that were right in front of you the whole time, but you never paid attention to it before.
Yeah.
And now, because you've put it as your priority, and because your sensations have picked it up as this is important, you're going to start seeing it. So things are always in front of us. And there's always that genius idea that everybody has thought of, but that one person did it.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I've thought of that as well. But too bad I didn't invent it. It's because the focus was in the hidden folder, but not priority.
Yeah.
So whatever you put as a priority folder, your eyes will allow you to see it more. And that's how your brain waves work. Once you see it, you can start doing it.
Yeah. I love that.
So I think just in the vein of what you're saying, I feel like that touches a lot on wellness, and wellness is a word that I think has lost kind of its meaning, because I mean, everything is wellness. There's wellness tea, wellness podcast, wellness everything. What is wellness to you, both physically and mentally?
Wellness is a state of being within. It's not just about doing yoga or breathing in and out. Or, I mean, of course that's great. It's phenomenal. But if people are doing yoga, breathwork sessions, ice baths, in hopes that that will solve a problem, that's not wellness. Wellness starts and begins from within.
Yeah.
It's about solving all your root cause of the problems, about aligning yourself with yourself, about self-love, acceptance, about understanding what this body is, what we're made out of, which is purely nature. So when you're connected, when you understand that you're made out of nature and you're connected with nature and you understand this body and you have your self-love and you're your own best friend,
Yeah.
that's where the wellness begins.
Yeah.
And then you can start adding on like maintenance, which is flowing your body and you through yoga, allowing your organs to move correctly. So you're being kind to your body. It's like servicing a car, if you want to put it that way. Ice baths, you're allowing your blood flow. It's just, these are just little add-ons. They're like makeup, if you want to put it that way. They're makeup to your soul. But the actual healing, it all happens within and not by someone else. It's all by you.
Yeah.
It can be guided through experts, which is what experts do. As a life coach, I guide the clientele's or all my clientele on how to achieve these goals, or how does the brain work? Where can you find the root cause? How to solve the problem? But I don't actually go inside their brain and pick it out like a dentist in their tooth,
Yeah.
I wish I could, but that's not the case. So that's what wellness is to me, at least. Of course, everybody has their own way of describing it.
Yeah. I feel like the things that you mentioned, they're obviously like all tools to help you reach that. But like you said, like essentially it is like from within. And I feel like a lot of people approach wellness and like, okay, if I do this, then it's like magic. It's like overnight, it's gonna fix me. And then you know what I mean? And they dismiss like the work, like you said, that you have to do in becoming your
100%.
own best friend and healing and self-reflecting and looking within.
Yeah, I mean, we say it all the time, like, oh my God, this matcha will fix me. Like, this
Food will heal me.
hey, food is healing. Like, French onion soup
It is
will heal
all
me.
a temporary solution to a permanent problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's exactly that.
And I mean, this food will heal me, or this class will heal me, could work sometimes because there's something called a placebo effect.
Yeah.
Because your mind starts believing what you believe, and that shows you the power of the mind, that shows you the power of your beliefs, and it shows you that when you genuinely believe that this thing, or could be a sugar pill that's healing you, it will definitely heal you. It's not the pill, it's your mindset.
Like the great philosopher Whitney Houston once said, there can be miracles
When you believe. When you believe.
Though hope is rare.
So you can achieve.
we can break into song right now.
R.I.P. Whitney Houston.
Friend of the pod.
She knew what she was saying or singing.
And Mariah also. Let's just, for the lambs out there, so people don't get mad.
Yeah. So imagine if you're believing something negative, like I can't be successful, or I genuinely believe that I am ugly, or I am not worth it. So imagine how powerful that is. It will take over your body, will eat you up alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's every single day. I remember back when I was a teenager, I think everyone has this. Like, you like before you go to like school, you like look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, oh my God, I have a spot. Oh my God, I look like it. And I don't know, I think because of the hormones, all that, like, yeah, we do have spots. We look crazy when we're 15. But I feel like that was probably the worst my self-talk was. Like, that was when I was like,
really?
Yeah. No. Now, because now I'm aware.
Teenagers, obviously.
Because we're not aware.
Yeah.
And I think it's only in my 20s that I started learning, like, hey, this is all not real, because beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Whatever I'm telling myself, I'll believe. So I started being a lot nicer to myself. Like, you have a spot, but no one can see it. Everyone's looking at your beautiful eyes.
Yeah. I feel like, the voice maybe starts when you're a teenager. And I feel like when you grow older, it's still there, but it's kind of like in your subconscious, and it's kind of like what's the word, like subliminal, in a way, you know what I mean, and then you start to believe it. And I feel like it's something like a theme I carried with me up until my 20s, and I didn't realize that until obviously I went to therapy, where I didn't even realize that I had problems with like my self-worth. And once I started like acknowledging that and focusing on that, it changed my life completely. So it's true, like your inner saboteur
Yeah.
is real. Like it can make or break your dreams for sure.
Of course,
True.
yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Because
And
you can tell yourself like, oh, I'll be happy when I lose 5 pounds, when my hair gets this long, when this spot leaves my face, or whatever it is. You know
Or
what
when I
mean?
achieve this, or when I get this job, or you know what I mean?
Or when I move there. Sometimes I still have this problem now with some friends. They'll be like, oh no, I'm not happy because I'm here. And I'm like, no. This is the reality you're making for yourself. You need to be happy where you are.
yeah, 100%. There's no such thing as when. The minute you attach your happiness to something outside or whatever it is, you're attaching your happiness to something that's out of your control. Like whether I'll be happy when I leave, you know, which
Yeah,
is
you're
like
screwed.
pretty much, you know, because you're attaching your happiness to something, and
Yeah.
and it's really out of your control. You need to be happy within, and anything else that's there is an add-on to your happiness. If it's not adding on to your happiness, without it, you're still happy. So that's the key to mainly happiness, if you want to put it that way. And of course, the first step of healing is acknowledging that you have a problem. So
Yeah.
that's why in therapy, when you realize, it's like that light bulb moment, like, oh my God, I never noticed I had this issue until I realized it. That's the first step to healing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't notice we have problems. This
We
is the
really
biggest
don't.
problem.
Yeah. And that's the thing. A lot of people are scared to admit that they have a problem. That's why they always tell you, like, what is it? Awareness is the first step to solving a problem, or
Yeah,
is
something
it
like
when
that.
you admit that you have a problem?
Yeah, admitting your problem is
Admitting
the
your
first
problem,
step.
yeah.
Yeah, but also a lot of people, let's face it, like nowadays everyone wants to point fingers, be like, oh, this person has this and he's traumatized. Okay, let's just point the finger at ourselves first.
We're all traumatized.
Yeah.
Eh?
It's the definition of the most used word in this century, which is empowerment.
Yeah.
Empowerment is pretty much the real definition of empowerment is taking control for all the results in your life, your behavior, and not playing the role of the victim.
I love that.
Pin it somewhere.
So
on a
that's
shirt.
how you
Tattoo
really
it on your
empower.
skin.
Tattoo it on your,
On your
skin.
forehead.
That's really it, because once we realize that the results in our life happen only because of our behavior and not because the other person's behavior, that's when you become empowered, because when you're the one causing the results, that means you can change the result as you please. But if I point a finger at you and I say you caused my result, that means I'm a victim and I'm powerless. It's like I'm not driving my car, I'm just a passenger. I'm watching my life pass by while somebody else is driving it.
100%.
We see that a lot with people who always point the finger at their parents. They're like, I am the way that I am because of my parents. When you're in your 20s, you cannot say that, because once you're aware of that, I don't think it's fair for you to keep blaming your parents for the way you turned out. You know what I mean?
What are you going to do about it? Okay, you know they've done this to you. What are you doing to help yourself and better yourself?
Exactly.
Because at some point it's in your power. They're not raising you anymore.
Well, I mean, it's there's blaming and there's stating the obvious. If they're stating the obvious that I am what I am today because of you, that's probably stating the obvious because they hold a big role into investing in their programming, you know, as how the child turns out. But they're not 100% responsible, because there's also a lot of elements that come into building a character, which is a school, friends, environment, and that's not parents. They're not with you 24/7.
Yeah.
I mean, until the age of 7 maybe, but after that, that's when school comes in, and that plays a very big factor. So if they're stating the obvious that I'm messed up because of you, well, great, good for you. You just stated the obvious. It's like saying the sky is blue, you know. But like you said, what's gonna happen next? I mean, just because they played a big role of messing you up, it doesn't mean they have to play a big role into fixing you, because nobody can fix you except yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the same even in our adult life. Like, it's the same when someone says something. Words really only have as much power as you're giving it to them, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they are powerful, though.
100%. Everything someone says can affect you. But I think it's important to also have a shield and understand this person's intentions may not be what I'm taking them as. And I have to just protect myself.
Actually, the people's words are worthless. They're not there. There's no effect on you whatsoever. The only effect that happens from words, the most powerful words, are the ones you tell yourself, not the ones people tell you. Because people can... Today, do you speak Mandarin, Chinese, Indian? So if I sit there and I tell you and something in Mandarin or in Hindi, okay, and I would be like, you're the ugliest person I know, but I said it in Mandarin. And do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely not.
No.
Probably
How
think
would
you're
you
giving
feel?
me words of wisdom.
How
She is praying for my well-being right
there,
now.
you would feel nothing.
Yeah.
However, if I say it in a language that you do understand, how would you feel?
I call you crazy.
Yeah, she'd be ready to fight. She's gonna be throwing hands.
You would immediately have a reaction. And why is
Violence.
it that you're saying the same thing, but in two different languages? One affects and one doesn't. And that brings me back to the point where these are simply, it's a frequency. It's a sound that's coming out. That sound, you receive that information. That information, once you receive it, you start analyzing this information based on what you know and what you don't. So you delete and distort and generalize a meaning to the information that's coming in, which is only a sound wave, purely a sound wave. This sound wave translates to the dictionary you have in your mind, in your subconscious mind, which is English. And then it takes from that, imagine all this happens in a split second. From these words that I'm telling you, into your English dictionary, it says ugly. Oh, wait, that goes into the angry folder. Okay. Or it goes into the sad folder. Or it goes into the rage folder. So that leads you to your state of mind. And your state of mind will either go, what? And you're going to go, behavior is reaction. Or your state of mind is going to be like, oh my God, that really hurts. And you're going to cry. Now, who did all of that?
Me.
You did all of that,
Yeah.
not me. I just simply gave you a frequency and you did all of the analysis.
Yeah.
And that affected your state of mind, which then led to impacting your behavior. Yours. All you, all on you. So you have the remote control. You can simply change my language. You can switch it from English to I have no idea what this girl is saying, and I choose to give the words that I want to listen to.
Yeah.
So it really is as powerful as holding a remote and choosing what you want to hear and what you don't want to hear.
God, I wish I had found that out when I was 10 years old in school getting bullied.
So did I. But I wasn't bullied.
No, I was the only Arab. Story for another day.
All right. Well, let's get into a little more sensitive topic. I know it's something you've talked about a lot, and you've touched on in your socials as well.
Yeah.
Which is your
Breast cancer.
breast cancer, obviously. Yeah,
Make it easier for you.
She's like, yeah, she's making it easier for me.
We're,
I'm like,
say it.
no, it's. I hate being that person, you know, but I just was like, I don't want to make
No,
it.
it's okay. It's I mean, like you said, I spoke about it a lot,
Yeah.
and it's about time. I mean, if still not normalized, but we should be able to say it out
Of
loud.
course.
And I don't think I honestly think it's the media. As much as I'm really grateful that there's so much awareness and pink and it's all pretty and, you know, get your breast checked. But at the same time, I really do feel like this image that they constantly put of a chemo patient, and it causes a lot of fear. And that's an image that needs to be changed.
Yeah.
Because if you want to get a girl to get checked, you need to start making them understand that the process is not as bad as you think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and which is true because I went through breast cancer on both breasts. And yes, it's a tough process. Yes, it's a painful procedure, but it's not something that I wished I had knew before, because if I had got diagnosed earlier, it would have been like removing a mole. So the process is less painful in terms of pain. But the journey of cancer is a journey that nobody can describe in words, because this is a journey that happens within one person. It's an enlightening journey. It's very weird to say that, but there's something that really happens from within, a relationship with yourself that happens, a light bulb moment that you get, a spiritual moment that you get. Every person's different, that no words can describe it. No words can describe it. And I honestly, if I went back in time and they gave me the choice, would you have cancer or not, I wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
So I think if I didn't have breast cancer, it wouldn't have changed so much in me, and into a better way.
Yeah. You were on your like wellness and this kind of journey before, like with
Oh yeah, I've been into the wellness for 15 years.
Do you feel like that equipped you with the right tools when
100%.
you were diagnosed?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, the knowledge that I have as a life coach was, let's say, I even told myself, I had a few clients at the time, And when I got diagnosed, I said, I called my clients. I said, listen, I'm really sorry, but I won't be able to see you for the next 6-7 months. I'm fully booked.
Oh my God, you didn't tell them.
And no, because I was fully booked with one client, which is me.
Okay.
You know?
Oh.
So I had to be my own client. And I put everything I knew into practice. I did treat myself as a third person. You know, anytime I felt down. And there are days when I hit rock bottom, of course.
Of course.
And the days that I hit rock bottom, I went to my coaches.
So just for context, how old were you when you got diagnosed?
It's just 2 years ago.
Okay.
No, yeah, it's been 2 years. 34, 35.
Okay.
It was
So
actually
young, yeah.
it was actually a month before my 35th birthday. So I was
Yeah.
it was a month before my 35th.
I remember when I got the news, I was shocked because you don't imagine that, like, first of all, your second cousin, and also like someone so young,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah, there's a lot younger than me. There's girls in their early 20s.
Because you know, well, I don't know all around the world, but in France, you can't get a mammogram until the age of 30. So there's
40. Okay, let me clarify the difference between an ultrasound and a mammogram.
Okay.
The reason they tell you not
That, by the way,
recommended,
this is so important because I
Yeah.
don't think I know the difference right now.
yeah, this is where the confusion comes in. The difference between an ultrasound and a mammogram. The reason they tell you, well, most countries at least, they tell you not recommended to get a mammogram below the age of 40. The reason is because the breast tissues are very busy.
Yeah.
So a mammogram will not be able to read correctly breast tissues that are very busy. At 40,
Okay.
they become less. So a mammogram can give you a better image. 40, the 30 still get busy breasts. So
Yeah.
ultrasound actually gives you a better image than a mammogram when you're below 40. And that's why you're recommended to do an ultrasound at that age. It still gives you the same result. An ultrasound and a mammogram, they're not any different. It's just different machines. Of course, the mammogram, because it kind of squashes in, it kind of gives you a bit, let's say, accuracy a little more, but it's not any different than an ultrasound machine.
They'd both detect it.
Of course, they both
Yeah.
detect. And anyway, usually step number 1 is always an ultrasound. Now, above 40, because your breast tissues are not that busy, a mammogram will give you a very clear reading. So that's why they revert to a mammogram at the age of 40 plus.
And obviously, you're recommended to like check, you know, for lumps and all of that, which
Of course, a manual check is very important. But of course, you need to know when to get a manual check. You don't get it done. I think you need to wait a week after your period. It's either a week after the first day or the week after the period ends. I'm not so sure about that. We'll Google it.
Yeah.
And that's when you check. Why? Because when you're during your period or just after you finish your period, your breasts are very tender. So you might be feeling cysts. You might be feeling things that are not tumors. So it will freak you out for nothing. And if you don't know how to manually check your breast, which should be checked, I think, every 2 weeks, every time you're in the shower, you can always check it on Google. It's very easy. It's like a clock. You can get it done yourself. But I think the most important point, more important than getting checked personally at home, is something I wish someone had told me before, is getting to know your breasts. And that means staring at them in the mirror at least a couple of minutes a day. Because we stare at our faces, yeah? We see it every day in the mirror. You get one wrinkle, one pimple, you'll notice. It's like, oh my God, I got a wrinkle. I need Botox. But because we don't stare at our breasts, I know it sounds weird, but because we don't stare at our breasts, if it changes, we're not going to notice. If the nipple inverts a little bit, you're not really going to see it because you weren't staring at your nipples every day for you to see that one inverted, the other one didn't. For you, they just like, I took a glimpse at it and they look fine. But having an inverted nipple is one of the biggest signs that there's a tumor pulling it back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I never heard that in my life.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of fear mongering when it comes to like cancer via the sun, and we're always told to check our moles and all that. But when it comes to breast cancer, I mean, that's vital information. I only just found out now.
So key is getting to know your breasts. I mean, I really wish someone had told me that because maybe I would have detected it earlier. Just get to know them. I mean, just stare at it just like you stare at your face. Look at them, just so you know. I mean, it's not for paranoia. It's just to be aware that there's something that's changed.
Of course. Yeah.
Discoloration of the nipple or around the nipple is also a sign. But again, how would you know if you don't know the color?
So you found out. So you noticed your breasts after you got diagnosed.
Oh no, I didn't notice anything.
Okay, you didn't feel anything, not notice anything.
No, I was
the
just
same.
going for that, which is another point: the importance of early checkup. I was just going for an early checkup. I had no symptoms. I had no clue, like, and nothing. And even when I got manually checked, there was no lump.
Oh my god.
So it was actually my doctor. So she checked me manually. She's like, "You're young. You're fine. There's nothing wrong with you."
Oh my god.
And because it was cold, obviously in the clinic of the doctor's office, so she's like, "You're fine." And I was like, "Okay." So she's like, "Get dressed." So as I got dressed, I was pulling out my shirt, and then she just turns around. She's like, "Have your nipples always been like this?" And I'm like, "What's wrong with my nipples?" And she's like, "Well, one seems a little inverted." I'm like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." It was I was clueless at the time. I'm telling you this now because I got educated, which is the importance of being educated.
Of course.
And she said, it's nothing. Maybe it's probably because it's cold. One's a bit perky, the other one isn't. It happens. So I said, okay, fine, get an ultrasound. I'm sure you're okay. But I've already checked you, so there's nothing wrong. And we got an ultrasound, and then the radiologist said, picking up on something, it needs a biopsy. So at the time, it's not my first biopsy. I've had a few biopsies before, and they were all benign.
Okay.
On the other breast, So she did a biopsy, and a couple of days later, that's when I found out it wasn't benign. It was a stage 2 invasive carcinoma. Yeah.
Wow.
So it was by mistake, if you want to put it that way. It was her noticing that the nipple was a little inverted, and I'm like, she had laser eyes to see that. Maybe because she sees a lot of breasts per day.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So obviously you talked about like your resilience throughout the journey, but when you first found out, was there ever a moment when you were like, why me? Like,
why me, but not in that way.
Yeah.
Why me? Because I know that everything that happens in a person's life, there's a lesson to be learned, and it's very valuable. Yeah. So I have a very strong connection with God. And I looked up and I smiled though. I was okay, why me? Like, what are you trying to teach me here? Not why me as in why did you choose me? No, why me as in like, you chose me on this path, but why? I'm trying to understand, and I want to get the learning, and I can't find it. And that's when I realized that you need to allow yourself to go through the journey, and you'll understand around the way. And I think and I'm still learning, by the way. I'm still. It's not just one thing you learn from the journey. It's along the journey you learn so many things. And this is a journey of life, not only a journey of illness. Every day you learn something new. You get into an argument with a friend, you learn something new. You lose a loved one, you learn something new. You lose a body part, you learn something new. So the journey, I've learned a lot of things that I understood why me. I understood why, and I'm still trying to understand more. Like, I feel like there's still more that I haven't. There's a lot more answers that I'd like to know.
Yeah. What are the key lessons that you learned?
Letting go is one. Letting go was actually the biggest one. Because I was very attached to my paddle boards. I'd wake up every day at 5 a.m. I'd go paddling. That was my happy place.
Aww.
I was very attached to my Muay Thai. It was a release for me. When I do my Muay Thai, my boxing, this was my release. So this was my life. This was my, you lose me, you find me in the water.
Yeah.
And after the surgery, so I got diagnosed. I didn't really have much of a reaction. I didn't cry. I didn't bawl. I was very, educate me, give me.
Did you tell the people around you what was going on, or?
Not at the beginning.
Okay.
Not at the beginning. I told only 2 people. And after I got my full diagnosis, just before my surgery, which took a month, it doesn't, like, you don't get diagnosed next day surgery. It takes a lot of scans and to be 100% sure and to understand what stage you're in, what level you're in, and then to take a decision of what surgery. So about a month, only a few people knew. And at the end of the month, when I knew that 100% this is it and I'm getting surgery, I decided to announce it everywhere to my friends. And that's when I actually told my family. So they didn't know the whole month. And yeah.
God.
And my cousin. Yeah. So I pretty much announced it on my podcast. That's when I announced that I recorded episodes for 3 months, I think 3 months worth of episodes. And that was the last one I recorded. I told him the last episode I'm going to record is the first one you're going to air. He said, why? I'm like, you'll know why. Because I didn't want him to get emotional. I said, let me record it at the end so that he can stay focused while I'm recording. And then at the end, and he's like, looking at me, and I'm like, because if he's gonna cry, I'm gonna cry, and I don't want him to cry, you know. So yeah, and I saw him like he's looking at me like this through the glass because I was recording inside the studio, and I'm just like turning my face and I'm recording. But yeah, that's when I announced it, and the support system was miraculous. You know, I didn't expect that much support. It was amazing. It was healing.
Yeah. No,
But,
I can't imagine. Like, I think the fear, but at the same time, like the onslaught of like love you're getting. It's like,
It was amazing, honestly. It makes you forget about the fear.
yeah.
I didn't have much fear. There's nothing really I was scared about. Like I wasn't.
Mashallah, you have a really beautiful relationship with God. Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
sitting here
I
and be
think-
like, you know, I have faith. Like, and even the way you phrase it, like, why did you choose me? Like, honestly, like, it gave me shivers when you said it. I was like, wow, like that is blind faith in God, and that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
It is blind faith. Even the decision of my surgery was blindly by him. I had the option of getting a single mastectomy, which was because the tumor was on my right breast, or a lumpectomy, which means only removing a tumor.
Yeah.
But then it would the tumor was a bit big, so it was going to remove a big chunk, which they said you're still eligible for it,
Yeah.
so we'll give you the options. You have lumpectomy as an option, a single mastectomy as an option, or the third option, which is optional as well, a bilateral mastectomy removing both breasts. Now somebody's giving me 3 options here, and I'm like, I don't know which one. And she's like, your body, your choice. And I was so lost. And then after like 2 weeks, I was sitting in bed, and I'm like, why am I lost? God's here.
Yeah. Oh.
So I looked up and I said, can you just let me know? Because every doctor I ask, they tell me your body, your choice. And since our body is just an element, it's just, we're just souls living, we're having a human body, we're a soul living in a human body
I
experience.
will pass out from just the pure joy and the emotion that you're gonna put in me right now.
Yeah.
That is so beautiful.
It's just at that moment, I'm like, you tell me what's the right
Yeah.
decision. I'm done. I don't want to think anymore. So I slept that day. I know I just asked him. I wouldn't even pray. I was in bed.
Just talking to God.
It just shows you, and okay, salat istikhara muhimma. It's very important, istikhara prayer, and for you to do the rak'atain. But that doesn't mean that you have to do that in order to get your answers. God's with you every minute of the day,
course.
every second of the day. I did this in bed. I wasn't praying on a mat. I just simply asked him. I said, "Can you help me? Like I don't know what to do, and why would I feel lost when you're here?" And that night I dreamt that I was smiling, and I had bandaged both my breasts. Both my breasts. I woke up with a very strong sensation of peace and calmness. I woke up with a smile, and I finally knew my decision. So when I went to my surgeon, I said, I want a bilateral mastectomy. She said, why? You have a perfectly fine left breast. And I said, don't ask me. I want a bilateral mastectomy. My dad wasn't very happy about it. He said, why would you lose a left breast? What if you want to breastfeed in the future? You don't have kids. And I said, my body, my decision. And that's when, after I got the bilateral mastectomy, and they took the tissues in order to, put them in the lab and biopsy the tissues, the breast tissues, they found out that there was breast cancer in the left breast. And it was too small to detect in a scan, but because they had completely removed the breast, they were able to detect it. So if I hadn't removed the breast, I would have had breast cancer again a year later.
You would have had to go through the journey again.
All over again.
Yeah.
So it shows you that sometimes why feel lost when you can just look up and ask,
Yeah.
and that's why I never had that feeling where I wasn't really bothered when I lost my breasts as much as that moment when she told me you're not allowed to stand. The nurse told me you're not allowed to paddle and go boxing because I had removed my lymph nodes. And that was when I'm like, what now? And she got scared because she didn't see me cry the whole journey. And all of a sudden she saw me cry. She's like, she ran to the surgeon. She came back, and my surgeon came back. She's funny, doctor. And she looks at me like this. She's like, she gave me tough love at the moment. She's like, I'm sorry. You didn't cry when I diagnosed you. You didn't cry when I removed both of your breasts. And you're crying now because she told you can't do stand-up paddling and boxing? Are you
But
kidding
honestly,
me?
that's real. Because I think at the time, you it's still registering, and you're not sure how it's gonna affect your life. And then when they tell you we're taking away your favorite things, you can't do them anymore. Like, that's very real.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it hit me. And I looked up and I smiled again. I'm like, now I know why. I never realized that I was so attached to my boards, to my boxing, that I used to preach, and I still do preach, that you have to be happy without these things. And when it was taken away, I was completely depressed. So I'm like, so much for my preaching. So I was like, okay, you know what? I get it. I get it now. I need to learn how to let go. I need to learn that with or without it, I'm happy. And then it hit me again that, wait a minute, she's telling me I can't do it. But who is she to tell me I can't do it? It's my body, my mind.
God.
So I said, how long? She said, you need years of therapy, but maybe you'll get there. I said, watch me. And it shifted immediately. That sentence woke me up, and it made me realize I wasn't allowed to drive for 6 months. I wasn't allowed to do any lifting because I had no movement for my hand. The maximum I could lift my arm was this much. So I was getting physiotherapy in order to be able to lift my arm. Like, yet again, to even function now.
Yeah.
3 months later, I was driving a car. I was paddling. I'm still not boxing, but I was paddling. Full paddle, 12 kilometers.
Oh my God.
Full force. Full arm movement. No issue whatsoever. And driving myself to the hospital, to my radiation sessions, getting my sessions myself. I was back on TV a month later. Not even 3 months. A month later, I was back on TV. So it is a mindset, my love.
Yeah.
It's all a mindset. When I chose that I would not allow their beliefs to take over my beliefs. And I said, I believe that I can heal myself. It's the power of the mind. And I really did push.
Yeah.
I didn't push in the sense where I couldn't take it. I was pushing in the sense that self-talk. You can do this. You got this. You're strong. You're powerful. You're healing. So I would do my healing meditations. I would visualize my body being healed. You know, I would constantly feed it with the right nutrients of words, images, surrounding myself with great people, great energy, love, happiness, music, laughter, no pittiness, no, oh my God, I'm suffering.
Yeah.
None of that was allowed in my dictionary. And that's, I think, what got me through.
So
I love
resilience,
that.
basically.
Yeah.
Resilience is everything for you.
Everything.
You are resilience. You are literally walking resilience.
Yeah, so this is how I got through.
I love it. Well, you empower people to prioritize like their health and well-being through your work. Were there any moments where you felt pressured and overwhelmed to do it to yourself? Where, because obviously it's easier to be objective with people. Were there moments where you're like, okay, I have to hold myself to that same standard that I hold my clients to?
To myself or to my clients?
To
yourself.
To myself, of course. I've hit rock bottom so many times.
Yeah.
You know, even during the journey, when the pain and suffering was not easy.
Of course.
Especially after a surgery. Bilateral mastectomy is not an easy surgery. Yes, okay, I'm great today, I'm happy, but it's also a fact that we need to acknowledge that you're moving two body parts here, so it's drains, the cuts. It wasn't an easy journey at all. So yes, I've had my rock bottom. Then after that, the part of self-acceptance, that there's scars everywhere. You lost a big part of your feminine, I'm gonna put it this way, feminine side.
Yeah.
At least this is what I used to believe. So when I really reached to the point where I didn't know what to do, I tried so hard to kind of clear out these thoughts in order for me to find a solution, but I was so busy in them that I couldn't. I knew that I had a problem. So I reverted to my life coaches and I said, I need help.
Yeah.
I tried doing it on my own. I couldn't. And I did. Immediately. I didn't wait. I said, I need help. I need help. And I reached out to all the coaches I know. I said, help me get out of this. Slap me out of it. Wake me up, but get me out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they did. I mean, it didn't take long. It was like 2 days, but
Oh wow. Brazilian queen.
Yeah, resilient queen. Did you ever feel lonely in the journey? Like I'm sure because like you don't have like it's not every day that you have a friend who like is diagnosed with breast cancer. So were there moments where you felt like people are not understanding or there's like this?
not at all.
Really?
I never realized how many friends I had till I got diagnosed.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I have that many friends. Like people care that
People
much.
show up.
People show up,
It's in these moments anyways. that you
and some
see-
people didn't show up. The ones you expect to show up.
Mm.
So there's a lot.
Those people are out of your life.
No, listen. I mean, at the beginning, I was shocked.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I'm like, really? Like this person is the person I expected to show up. But then I also realized that each person is going through their own journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's what they're feeling, what they're projecting. And some of them had family that went through cancer, had family members they lost through cancer. So it's very hard for them. They live denial more than I did. I didn't live denial. They did. So they didn't want to see me because they were in denial. Then no, she doesn't. So if they saw me, it would be real. And it was easy for me to judge them that, oh, they're not here. Which also something that I learned not to judge because you don't know they were actually feeling pain,
Yeah.
but they couldn't be there. Some people would say it's not an excuse. They still have to show up. Could be. But at the same time, it depends on how much you love that person as well. You can either give them that excuse, allow them to have it,
Yeah.
or you can stand by your stance and be like, no, no
That's
excuses. Okay for you not to be there at the moment.
Yeah.
Personally, I realized that I don't give a shit anymore.
Queen.
Whether you choose to be there, great, thanks very much. I could use your support. You're not there.
Hundreds of other people are.
Yeah, does
Yeah.
100 other people exactly. So that's also the attachment to people. So learning to let go.
Love that.
What piece of advice would you then give to someone who is also like sort of going through a transformative journey, who needs to, someone who's going through breast cancer, so any person in the world, like one piece of advice that you think, I guess it's hard to apply to everyone, but like represents you, like the lesson that you've learned that you want to give to other people? You've given us so many, by the way. So
I think especially for people that are going through transformative surgeries, scars, changing the way they look, which also has an impact on how they feel. The key here is self-acceptance and self-love. Thoughts, especially with women, and I would say men as well, but for women, because they relate the feminine side to breasts,
yeah,
which is correct, so they feel like they're losing a big chunk of their feminine side by losing their breasts. And that also puts up a worry that would the other sex or my partner accept me? I'm not that feminine girl anymore. I don't have the breasts that I'm supposed to have, if I don't have a partner, will I be able to find someone that will accept me for who I am? These are the regular thoughts that I got, that others get, that others that are going through the journey might get, that will I find someone that will accept me? And the ones that already have someone, will this person stay with me or leave after they see the scar? So these are very toxic thoughts. And my advice is, if they truly love you, they will accept you with every scar you have.
yeah,
And if they walk away, you just hit the jackpot
Yeah.
because you dodged a bullet.
yeah.
It's their loss, and it showed you a side of them that you would have never seen if you didn't lose your breasts or whatever body part. So I completely respect every man and woman that accepts other people and sees through them rather than at them. And that's the kind of people I want in my life. And the people that look at me and not through me are the people that I don't want in my life. So self-love is key, and understanding that it's the quality of people, not the quantity that are around you.
That's phenomenal.
And I know for some people it might seem like generic or whatever, but it's truly underrated. Like literally self-love can transform your entire outlook and the way you perceive life.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Recently, we were talking about this on the phone, I think. Right. I think it was with you. I mean, I speak to you mostly. I told you, whenever I have a moment of just saying something really mean to myself, I just pull up my phone. I look at a picture of me as a kid because I'm like, okay, when you're talking to her, you're also talking to her. Because you would never be so mean to a kid. So I think I'm the kindest to my young self. And I think we all have to be kind because we're still our young selves.
You're always going to be that young self. But I like that idea. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Reminding yourself you wouldn't be mean to this little one. Why are you being mean to her now?
Yeah.
That's a nice way of looking at it.
It is, yeah. We always remind each other, and I do this with some of my other friends because sometimes we don't realize how hard we are on ourselves, but other people hear it.
Yeah.
And so when we kind of like try to remind each other, like when I'm being hard on myself, she's like, Zainab, you're being hard on yourself. And when she's being hard on herself, we're like, hey, don't talk about my best friend like that.
Yeah.
But even in not just like physical situations, even in work situations, like I do want to remind everyone, I guess, that even if you don't know how to do something, you're a few steps away from learning, and learning is okay. I think because we're no longer in school, sometimes realizing you don't know something and having to learn a skill from like nothing to something is terrifying.
But that's the beauty of life. You're learning every day. You're growing every day. And the word terrifying is what we're used to hearing. But if you come to think about it, if we already knew everything there is to know, and we already knew what tomorrow is going to bring, and there's no element of surprise, what's the point of living? And that's the beauty of life, the mystery, the learning part, the growing part. It's also the making money part. If you had all the money in the world and you didn't need a penny more, you'd still be like, okay, what now?
Yeah, you wouldn't be sitting here manifesting a $50 million penthouse.
100%.
Or a penthouse, yeah.
You wouldn't have something to thrive to.
Yeah.
You'll find a lot of billionaires out there. They're really depressed.
I know you're so sad, Jeff Bezos. You should just give us money.
Just give us your money.
Donate.
Donate. So yeah, you could be happy with all these billions too, but it all starts. It's not the money that makes you happy.
No, definitely not. No.
It's the money can buy you stuff that can help you make you happy.
Temporarily as well.
Temporary stuff, yeah. I mean, gadgets and stuff like that. Nice hotels and cars and comfort maybe and great hospitals. But even with all of that, if you're not content within yourself, it's pointless. But if you're content within yourself, you have the self-love, and you have just Jeff Bezos' money, that would be like
jackpot
right there.
Yeah. But we're the happiest when we sit on grass.
Yeah.
We prioritize
us,
being outside right now because the weather allows it.
Yeah.
Because sitting on grass heals us. Being in nature heals us.
But also, I think within the theme of this episode, I really do believe that self-love is the main driving force for resilience and having a good mindset, because you love yourself, so you're trying to obviously practice putting yourself in the best mindset to go through something instead of letting it affect you and just having like a pity party or being like, well, this is my life.
Yeah,
it sucks
so,
for me.
So easy. It's so easy to have a pity party.
Yeah.
Because you're just throwing a blame at the universe.
It's not my fault.
Yeah, it's not my fault. Okay, good. Sit there. You know? Keep sitting there.
Instead of saying, God, I'm not the strongest soldier, God, I am the strongest soldier. I'm the last man standing.
Yeah.
Well, technically, you were the only sperm that went through.
Oh my God! Wait, as an only child, I just want to validate all of us. We are the chosen ones.
That was a very tough race. You made it.
She made it. She's the only
I'm a survivor.
You really because the thing is, if you come to think about it, there's like thousands of them, hundreds of them, and brothers and sisters of you, but you're the only one that
Nepo
made it
baby
to the finish line.
t-shirt. Nepo baby t-shirt. Chosen one t-shirt. Perfect.
What t-shirt do I get?
Soul survivor.
Superwoman, honestly.
Wonder Woman. She can do it
really
all.
sweet.
Resilience, actually. Resilience.
Yeah, I was just gonna say resilience.
Well, now I know what my next tattoo is.
All right. Well, I think this is the time that we have for the episode, even though we'd love to talk with you some more, Base, and have you sprinkle some more advice. This episode, I feel like, is filled with gems.
It's perfect. Honestly, it's perfect for Ramadan. It's the time to restart,
for
to reset.
spirituality and self-reflection and all of that. But before we go, we do this thing where we have our previous guests.
X.
Ex.
Our
The
previous
previous
ex.
ex. Not the ex. Damn, he's on my mind. Ramadan, leave my mind.
Yeah, and aren't like Jinn supposed to leave? So I don't know what he's doing here.
Anyways, our previous guest asked a question to our next guest, and then you have to kind of pay it forward and ask our next guest a question. So our previous guest question was,
Oh God.
If you are on death row,
Who was your guest? Okay.
what would be your last meal? You could have multiple courses, by the way. I did.
yeah, she definitely did.
My last meal. Damn. What would be my last
You
meal?
best not be like lettuce.
Oh, no. I'm
A
a
shrimp.
carbs girl.
Okay.
My last meal. So I can have more than one meal, or?
Girl, a whole course.
Yeah,
a whole
yeah,
course
yeah.
menu.
Whatever you want.
It's like I'm a bit hungry now, so I'm kind of thinking about it. So I'm an Italian lover.
Oh,
I probably would choose something Italian.
I did too.
But then again, I'm trying to think. I'm like, what is it that like I really want just before I die?
Just before I get the lethal injection.
Electric chair.
I don't know why, but I'm telling you Italian, but my brain keeps showing me this image of this beef patty burger that's melting with cheese, but it's like one of those really massive ones.
Yeah.
That, like,
Smashed or like is
Like
the
a
patty
juicy
full-
Lucy or Lucy whatever, the ones that's filled with cheese.
yeah, it's like it's just like a double patty, like it's
But double patty smashed or regular?
I guess smashed.
Okay. Because
Regular,
like
I
it's
don't
your
know.
last meal. Like I have to be so specific.
Yeah, I don't know. It depend. I have no idea because I can't think of a brand that would do it. But it's just that is the image I see. Me stuffing myself with a burger.
Fries,
Yes, of course.
onion rings,
Sorry.
onion rings.
No, fries. Regular
Okay.
fries.
Are you getting a milkshake on the side? Any drinks? Soda.
Might as well do a soda.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
might as well do a soda.
You can also do a pasta if you love Italian.
Yeah, you can do both.
Carbonara.
If it's from Italy, then yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
Like
I
if
mean, you're
it's
on death row, they better fly that pasta.
if it was pasta from Italy, yeah. Why in the world would your guest ask that question?
It's such a good question. And
I love that question though.
yeah. Do you have a dessert as well, or are you just ending on that soda?
Oh, I can have dessert as
Yeah,
well.
babe.
You can
of
have
course.
whatever you want.
It's your death
It's
row
your
meal.
last meal.
You're about to die.
Thanks. I'll have. Can I have one?
Give me one cheesecake, strawberry.
I'll have probably waffles with Nutella
Ooh.
or crepe Nutella. But no, I can have both.
Okay.
I want
Waffle
a
and
waffle mountain with crepe Nutella.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll probably do something
Strawberries.
Like that. Yeah. and
Chantilly
bananas.
as well, or
Are you girls hungry or?
I'm so. It's Ramadan. Of course we're hungry.
course we're
All of us are hungry.
All right. Well, what's your next question or your question to
Oh
the next
God.
guest?
Who can beat that one? Can I know who your next guest is? Oh, you can't. I can't know. Okay.
We don't even know who our next guest is.
If you were invisible for a day, what would you do?
Oh, a lot of invisibility
Yeah.
questions.
Did
Did you have one before?
No, it wasn't what would you do. Who'd you spy
Who
on?
would you stalk? Yeah,
Yeah.
you know who asked that? Fatma.
Well,
It's a
great
family
minds
thing.
think alike.
It's
That's
a family thing.
All right, so I'll change that one then, I guess, since you had an invisible one before. That's cheesy. Because if you have $10 million, what would you do with it?
That's a really good one, though. I like this.
You like it?
Yeah.
It's not cheesy.
No.
Okay.
Because 10 million is more than a million. Like it's you can do more than one thing. Because someone might be like, I'll just buy a building or I'll invest
Yeah.
in crypto.
If you had $10 million right now, dollars,
Yeah. Not
not
KD.
KD, not
Not
KD,
KD.
you know,
Not $30 million. 10.
$10 million, what would you do?
I know.
How
what
would
I
you
do.
split it?
Girl, the way we would
I
spend-
already have a list of all the things that I'm gonna do.
we have a list on our
a
phone.
wish list of things I would
That's
buy.
good because the thing is that opens up your eyes that you are goal setters. You know, you have a clear image of where you want to go. But a lot of people, you ask them that got a question of $10 million. Million is easy, but $10 million, they freeze. They're like my maximum was thinking of buying a car, but now you put me
We
in a
have-
situation where I have to think about more stuff.
Yeah.
We have the $1 billion list. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's a
Some
$1
of the
million
most-
list. There's a $1 million list, and
Yeah.
then there's the $1 billion list.
some of the most useless things I've ever seen in my life are on her list. I'm actually quite proud of my
I
list.
keep sending her things. She's like, Zainab, why would you need that? I'm like, I am gonna have so much money, it won't matter.
I always thought I was the nonsensical one. I have been proven wrong.
After you've seen the list.
Oh yeah. I'm like, you know what? I'm
not even
actually.
gonna say. I was gonna say with the one thing that I wanted, but I'm gonna keep it.
Keep
I'm gonna
it to yourself.
to myself.
On the 100th episode, you can say it.
Once I have it, I will.
So
say.
that would be one question. And then the other option, that's for you to choose. If you could have dinner with a famous dead person, who would it be?
Oh my god, I know who I want.
You do?
Yeah.
All right, who would it be?
Queen Elizabeth.
Why?
Because she
And
lived
why?
through so many stages of life. She saw so much. I think she'd be so interesting. She saw everyone. She had
She did,
Thatcher.
actually.
She had Churchill. She had Obama. She saw every single person in the world.
I have a feeling you're going to say Whitney Houston.
No, I'm
Bob
thinking-
Marley.
No. Who would I choose? The person that I was gonna choose, I'm like, he's not dead. But he could be.
Michael
I was gonna say
Jackson?
Bob Dylan.
Michael Jackson.
It's a Bob. I said Marley.
Actually, I would love to pick Michael Jackson's
Brain.
brain.
Queen
Actually,
Elizabeth.
maybe not.
Then I think maybe you should go for that instead of the $10 million. I asked your Nest that if they want to have dinner with a famous dead person, who would it be and why?
Okay. Love that. All right, then.
Thank you so much.
That was our
You're most
episode.
welcome.
Thank
You've
you,
changed our
Miss.
lives.
You really
Oh,
have.
have I?
You've made that Ramadan.
Oh, thank you. You're
Yeah.
now fasting out of everything that's negative.
Yeah, I
And
am.
you're having iftar on everything positive.
And I'm gonna message you every single time on the verge of mental breakdown. Congratulations, you're
Please
part of the
don't.
family.
Congratulations, you've gained a client.
Please don't.
I'll have my people call your. I'll have her call you.
She's like, please don't. You're like, no, I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
You're my life coach.
My
All right.
pleasure. My pleasure.
Habibti. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. And if you enjoyed this episode,
Like, comment, subscribe, leave a review, send to everyone you know. Send to your whole phone book. Just send.
all right, you guys, we'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.